I don't remember where I heard it from exactly, but Alex Pereira said that he was already planning on coming into MMA and then eventually going into the UFC. He said that before this whole Adesanya thing, before people were even talking about his debut. So he said that when I think this was when he's the Glory Double Champion, but is he coming into the UFC to get Adesanya, or he's following his original plan? Because if you can answer that, that would tell us a lot about Alex Pereira's future if he beats Adesanya. Because just imagine if he beats Adesanya, he's now obliged to fight for the belt. Now, if he's only coming into the UFC because he wants to get Adesanya, because he's jealous of, let's be honest, it's coming from envy. It's coming from the fact that you're seeing this guy who's dominating everybody in the premier organization of MMA, and you're out there doing nothing in the middle of nowhere. I'm not trying to offend Pereira, but there's some envy that he possesses, which I do think that can help him. Now, if he just comes into the UFC to fight out Adesanya, then that would mean that he's not gonna stay long in the UFC. Because what he wants is not just beat Adesanya, but take everything from Adesanya, from sponsorships, the title, the main event opportunities, the pay-per-views. Those things is what Adesanya is getting, that Pereira is, in my opinion, the reason why he's coming into the UFC. Now, I think he's coming into the UFC to get what Adesanya has, which is the money, the pay-per-view, the popularity, everything that comes with the title. But if he's coming into the UFC to follow and to stick to his original plan, which is after he's done with kickboxing, he's gonna come into MMA, go into the UFC. If he's coming into the UFC because he's following what he told himself a long time ago, then that would mean that he's gonna stay for a very long time. Because you can come in to the sport, fight Adesanya, who people might tell you the greatest middleweight on planet Earth, and beat him. You can make a ton of money in your next fight, just in your next fight. Now, I don't really know if his next fight is gonna go that well if he beats Adesanya. Robert Whittaker beating Paulo Costa is very, very reasonable that you can give Robert Whittaker a title shot. A very reasonable argument. Because Robert Whittaker dominated Marvin Vettori, and now he beats Paulo Costa, who's very popular. Now, speaking of Paulo Costa, if he wins, I assure you he's gonna get a title shot. So I don't really think that his next fight is gonna go that well, especially if Robert Whittaker wins, because Robert Whittaker is no easy task for anybody. He's the boogeyman of the division. Now, if Pereira is coming into the UFC to pursue what he's always wanted ever since he started this whole thing, which is fight in MMA, then that would mean that he would stay as long as he can. So this question is very important for a lot of reasons, because this could tell us what will happen if he wins against Adesanya. Because one thing you gotta remind yourself is that Alex Pereira is only 35 years old. Now, I take the word only back in that statement, because most champions, they're either 31 and above or they're not. Most guys or gals are 31 and above. Adesanya is 32. Islam is 31 and above. Leon Edwards, I believe, is also. And Carla Esparza. And a lot more. I don't really think that being 35 is a great idea in a very stacked division. Now you might tell me, what are you talking about? Middleweight is not that stacked. Well, it's not stacked because the champion put everybody out and did it more than once. So if Alex Pereira becomes champion, automatically that division is as hot as the bantamweight division. Could be. But all those guys that Pereira could fight might be a problem for him. Like, there's a ton of Bo Nickel, just to put him out there. There's tons of wrestlers who I believe can take Pereira down. I'm not saying that he's gonna lose to all those guys 90% of the time, but he definitely can. Not saying that it will, but he's only 35. Now, I keep putting that word only there. My bad. But he's 35. And being 35 in this sport is not really ideal. But if you can be younger than that, which is, by the way, impossible, then that would be great. But he's not. So a part of me believes that he's gonna leave once he's made enough money. Once he's done what he's always wanted to do, after he changed his idea, which is to have what Adesanya has, which is the money, pay-per-view, and everything that comes with it, and the legacy.